You're dropped into the middle of a dark forest, alone, unarmed as you stumble upon a mysterious house. Inside is a family, one you are now part of, perhaps unwillingly, mostly unknowingly. This newfound family has strange tastes, an insatiable hunger.
Wait, is this footage of Resident Evil 7? Where's the raccoon? Obviously, this isn't Resident Evil 7. Okay, so I know I'm not alone when I say that I really like cozy horror. I'd like to think that if you clicked on this video, you probably also enjoy that strange and eclectic twist on familiar, comforting mechanics, contrasted with tense, atmospheric gameplay that just crawls under your skin. Just to get this out of the way, I don't really want to go through this video with a hard and fast definition for cozy horror because I think that the cozy part of this formula is very specific and personal to each and every person. If you search online for what cozy horror games people like, you'll get a pretty wide spectrum of games from Silent Hill to Night in the Woods. Even some games I'd consider cozy horror might be a little unconventional as well, such as Project Zomboid or Vintage Story. They're all a little bit different, we're all a little bit different, and that's what makes us all special. Also, spoiler warnings, I'll breeze through the game in this video, which means I'll be showing some of the little critters and creepers that you'll meet, along with some footage of the ending at the end of the video. Remember, you've been warned. Anyways, that leads me here. Everything about this game makes my heart skip a beat in all of the best ways. The soft, greenish, yellowing age of the kitchen, the ominous, if not always reliable oven, the blinking light of the dying smoke detector, and even the strange, infinite pantry that may or may not have a demon hiding within, are all wonderful little bites of this strangely comforting meal of a game. But this game doesn't really start out that way. From the beginning, the atmosphere is tense. You're dropped into the middle of a dark forest, and in the distance is the soft blue light of a wisp. The game poses as a horror game, and like anyone who's played horror games, one of the big rules is to not follow that pretty light deeper into the woods. That's just asking for trouble. But without any other direction or place to go, you're forced to follow this little light and its whims. Thunder crackles in the background as you tread over the mulchy ground, and you find yourself here. At first, it's nice to finally be somewhere safe-ish, as opposed to, But nothing really signals to you that this is a place for you to finally let your guard down. The messages from the previous owner of this house don't really instill a sense of confidence in your general safety. After all, who knows what could be hiding within these locked rooms and cabinets. And this house is weird. I say that with love, by the way. Like, what in the courage the cowardly dog is this wonderful little kitchen? From the ear-prickling, staticky music, the low light, the void oven, the strangely theatrically lit item prep system, nothing really screams cozy, at least at first. As a certified Weenie Hut Jr. member who went into this game blind, I was just a little comically on edge for the first 10 minutes. At every step I was expecting something to pop out, or maybe a creature a la mortuary assistant to give me neck-breaking whiplash from the corner of my eye. As far as I'm concerned, I need to keep them fed, and that did not alleviate any concerns I had. I mean, one of the first things you need to do is unlock the pantry, and Hey, I've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Jokes aside, I was incredibly on edge, like I expected something to chase me down, or that I was in some sort of gotcha moment, and that if I turned around I'd see, well, something behind me. That this was a cooking horror game where the subtext was that I'd be the next meal. Coming from other food prep horror games like Cold Rails or the demo for Wasteland Bites, where I was primed and expecting to be penalized in some way if I didn't make 3 perfectly crafted, authentic Italian meals for the demon living in my cupboard, this was nice. More than nice, actually. Still, though, it's hard to feel 100% safe at first. You have the usual staples of the horror genre within the game, solving puzzles, item hunting, progression locked behind mysterious rooms, and all of this culminated in the feeling that I couldn't quite shake off, that something bad was going to happen. Geez, I mean, even though they're not really similar, the photography system gave me flashbacks to getting scared out of my mind during late-night Fatal Frame playthroughs. Even the animation of the key unlocking the door made me feel a little apprehensive at first. Opening each door is an event, and the uncertainty of what lay behind each door made me that much more anxious. Strange rooms, strange creatures, fake letters from someone recently passed, strangers knocking at the door. It's easy to feel, at the very least, somewhat uncertain about your general safety in this game. Learning new recipes and tracking down creatures to take pictures of so you can find out what they like to eat was a welcome distraction from the fear brewing in the back of my mind. It helps that they're all just so dang cute once you get to know them a little. I mean, look at this little guy. You start off with a small set of ingredients, just enough to make simple meals like toast and pancakes. As you continue to progress and make new friends, you'll be rewarded with new ingredients and recipes to try out. Figuring out what the local critters like to eat enough times will reward you with a key, which will then lead you to new rooms or locked cabinets. Each new room will come with a strange new creature and new puzzles for you to poke around and uncover. The variety of the different kinds of cryptids within the game was also fantastic. It also introduced me to one I've never even heard of before. Oh. That's the Pacific Northwest octopus, by the way. Really lovely fellow once you get used to all of the tentacles. Also, shout out to the devs for including the Fresno walker. I was so surprised to see this little guy barging their way into my quaint little cottage. Sorry for going off on a weird little cryptid tangent, but may I interest you in the warm and fuzzy fur-bearing trout in these trying times? Real ones out there, tell me about your favorite cryptids now. Just joking. Not really, show me your favorites or else. Also, the design of the house and the attention put into the modeling is wonderful as well. There's a little altar at the end of the hallway that I just adore because it reminds me of the altar that my own grandma maintains each day. With love and care, each morning she lights incense and places a freshly picked orange from the backyard as an offering. And in-game, there's something very sweet and heartwarming about inheriting the altar your in-game grandma kept and dedicating a part of it to her memory. There's also something so special about old houses that this game really captures. Perhaps I'm romanticizing it a bit, but I'm so in love with the creaking and groaning, the old furniture, the yellowed wallpaper, and the croaky old radio singing away in the corner. I can imagine what this house smells like even, like old wood, spices in the kitchen, and of those old cedar balls that my grandma would toss into closets to keep the moths away. Even the spotty, blinking red light of the smoke detector in need of a battery replacement just feels so right. The devs really did a fantastic job with the atmosphere and really had some love and dedication put into making the house feel like a real, lived-in place. Though I've never been here, it really does feel like home. Though the simple act of snooping around the kitchen and yard was a bit nerve-wracking at first, Creature Kitchen is really good at slowly warming up the metaphorical stew pot. The kitchen goes from aged and yellow and maybe a bit ominous to a comforting place for you and your friends to hang out, nostalgic almost, like visiting your grandma during a warm summer night. There's a certain charm to the weird and kinda scary but also endearing creatures that you meet. Instead of just being a forest creature, they're individuals with their own likes and dislikes, preferences, and sometimes they're just afraid of you as you are of them. It's nice that the game turns the premise around on you and that, like, hey, these aren't monsters or things you should be afraid of. They all just want to chill and eat good food, just like you. Obviously, do not feed the wildlife in the woods in real life, okay? As someone who is fairly introverted and also has a hard time adjusting and feeling any sort of baseline comfort in a new place, I feel like this game really captures the anxiety I feel sometimes when I'm out of my comfort zone. There's a really wonderful warmth and satisfaction from deciding to learn new things, new recipes, slowly meeting new friends, and joining a community, even if everything feels a little alien and frightening at times. Rather than most games that masquerade as something cozy when it's actually housing a scary, horrible monster waiting to gobble you up, Creature Kitchen is a game that, to me, feels like a cozy game masquerading as a scary beast that you think is going to grab you out in the middle of the forest at night. Though you may have your own fears and apprehensions in the beginning, you gotta realize that these things you fear are things that you've conjured up in your head from your own preconceptions, which ultimately can be flawed. Which I think really helps to push the atmosphere of the game from scary whimsical into something a little more thoughtful and ultimately heartwarming when you finally settle into the rhythm of the game. Cozy horror has been around for a long time, even if the games that populate the genre have been a bit sparse through the years. The subversion of a cute game being a horror game is always enjoyable and honestly one of my favorite types of games to play. I feel like what makes Creature Kitchen even more interesting to me is that this game kind of feels like a subversion of the cozy horror trope as a whole. A subversion of a subversion, if you will, and this game executes it perfectly. It's charming and clever and overall such a delightful experience. I think some people may be disappointed that the horror doesn't really escalate throughout the game and mostly peaks in the beginning, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. I'd actually argue that making everything scarier or having a chase sequence through the woods or through the halls and rooms of the house would weaken the overall feel of the game. The game focuses more on its general atmosphere, and it's very successful at cultivating something that feels like you're someone settling into a dark and cozy space in the woods where no one will ever find you. But that's okay, because you can hang out with your cool cryptid buddies and make a mean lasagna to share with everybody. To me, Creature Kitchen is a game about embracing the unknown and finding comfort under the cover of darkness. And that maybe if you have a little bit of trust and a lot of cheese, you'll find lots of friends to brighten up your night. I just want to say thank you for watching. If you liked my videos, maybe like and subscribe. It really does help me out a lot. And for those of you who are still sticking around and are big fans of cooking games and horror and general homemaker games, I'm looking forward to Stellata Cucina, a horror game set out in the Italian countryside where you cook hearty meals with a cosmic horror twist. I honestly cannot describe how excited I am for this game to come out. The demo has been out for a bit and it's just chef's kiss, no pun intended, and the game just filled me with that spine-tingling feeling of someone creeping up behind my back the whole time. The atmosphere is so chock full of dread, I love it. Alright, bye bye for now, and thank you again for watching. I hope you guys have a great night with good food and good company. See you next time.